Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Abilita Advantage webinar. And, it's really in Abilita's DNA to focus on our clients' needs with bottom line results. And we're thrilled to have you here as we dive into important technology solutions that will help your business or organization stay ahead. Normally, these webinars are focused on telecom services. However, we saw the significant technological advances in camera security, and we thought it'd be best to tell our clients and our friends about this. And we've been impressed with the practical benefits organizations can gain proactively with camera security and technology, such as notifying staff when a noise level exceeds a configured threshold, preventing theft, inventory shrinkage, unauthorized access, quickly finding a person or a vehicle across multiple cameras after an incident, and searching hours of footage in seconds using AI-powered analytics. There's many more examples, which I'll let PhySaaS explain. But what caught my attention is that you can be notified and be proactive versus reactive for these situations. And just a reminder that you'll be getting a $25 gift card from DoorDash, from PhySaaS to DoorDash, which will be emailed to you after this meeting. So please mute your audio, silence your note taker, and also know that this will be recorded and available to you later. And finally, if you have any questions, you can come off mute anytime, or you can also put your questions or comments in the chat. So take it away, Josh.
Thanks, Dan. Hey, everybody. My name is Josh Dickinson. My counterpart is Nicola Ford. She's on this call as well. And we're with a company called PhySaaS, acronym for Physical Security as a Service. And Dan was right. We basically provide custom solutions that are very proactive for your environment using a company called Verkada. And we'll kind of get into that. But we were founded in 2023. We have a local support or domestic support out of Massachusetts. We support customers nationwide. And I'll mention the Verkada again. We work with a manufacturer called Verkada. We have the one and only MSP agreement out there with them. We have a sister company called Fortify, which does a lot of LTE, 4G, 5G. So, why is physical security important? If you think about it, we see the news all the time. We hear stories. We probably maybe been involved in different incidents. A significant 75% of companies place physical security as one of their foremost priorities. Over the last 5 years, 60% of companies have encountered breaches. The average cost of a breach is $100,000. Notable of 20% companies have invested in educating their employees about the best practices of physical security. And visitor management systems have been a real big kind of on an uptick lately, just because you can actually track and understand and have reports on who enters and exits your building. So, what do we do? So Verkada, if you're not familiar with Verkada, if you've never heard of Verkada, the value of Verkada is as one pane of glass for everything. The traditional way of buying security is you have to go find a camera company and then you find a technician to install it. And you pay for it all up front. Then you go find a door company and access control, and then you find a different technician and you pay for it all up front. Go to an alarm company like ADT or Brinks, and you have to do that same process with a different technician. So it's very clunky. It's very kind of piecemeal together. The value of Verkada is that's one pane of glass for everything. So it's not only just cameras, it's access control indoors, it's your air quality sensors, your alarm monitoring, your guest management. We have panic buttons, intercoms. So all these different elements of security under one pane of glass. So 79% of our customers are multi-location because it ties everything together. And then B, we also do the management behind the scenes, bringing this solution to you as a white glove service. We take pretty much everything off of your hands. We manage everything from the site surveys to project managing the installation to even we have free truck rolls for life of the account. So once everything is installed and configured, if a camera breaks or a door malfunctions, PhySaaS is actually going to send a truck out to get it fixed, no charge. You don't even have to communicate with us. We are the ones notifying you that it's broken. We RMA it. We do everything behind the scenes on your behalf. Uh, Security as far as a good fit. Verkada is a very proactive approach, as Dan mentioned prior, and he gave a lot of good reasons of why security is important. One of the other main kind of driving factors is business analytics, on top of what all those different things Dan mentioned. Because of all the different reporting, we can provide a lot of different information to grow businesses, to remain more safe, a lot of different kind of things we can do with it. But the sweet spot for people that want our services is whoever wants a proactive approach to security, not a reactive. You can get alerts as things are happening, and so you don't have to go find out about them later. The customers that want technology to help their environment safer for their employees, obviously that makes a lot of sense. Protect their assets. Have multiple locations tying all elements of security under a single pane of glass. If you ever heard of Verkada and you don't, Verkada is a very expensive brand. It kind of speaks for itself as far as all the different elements. But what PhySaaS does is we step in and we actually amortize all the hardware and the licensing and our support, and we amortize it across a 36 or a 60-month term. So not only is it easier for you to buy it, but it also turns it into a monthly utility instead of a capital expenditure. And also customers who want to manage I can't read. Want to manage security solution with no extra costs or gotchas. Like I said, we actually do free truck rolls for life of the account. If something breaks, it doesn't cost anything at all. We cover it. Um, as far as the traditional model, as I kind of mentioned this earlier, the traditional model of buying securities, you don't go kind of piecemeal it together. What we do is we're bringing everything together under a single app or browser. So you don't be able to view your cameras, your doors, a panic button. You can do a lockdown from your phone. You have all these different abilities all from your app or your browser. As long as you have internet, you can be on a cruise in the Bahamas and you can view your cameras, you can lock down your facility, etc. As far as the true cost goes, kind of what I keep mentioning as far as the free truck rolls, that's really where a lot of the cost comes in, as well as all the setup, the design, the ongoing maintenance. For example, if you have access control, who's the person responsible and how much time does it take every time you hire or fire somebody to provide or remove access? Or if an incident occurs, how much time does it take to go and find that incident, archive it, send it somewhere to have it happen? That's all that stuff we do behind the scenes. Um, so what we with our free management or with the management built in, we do everything from start to finish. So we'll actually put all the people into the access control directory, provide what credentials. If somebody needs video footage pulled, we can do that as well. So we're really there to become a quote unquote extension of your security team. AI in the real world. POS integration. So if you think about if you have inventory that you're trying to keep track of, we can actually set a camera up and actually have it facing a UPC or a barcode, and it automatically pulls from your inventory, your management system, so you know exactly when you need to reorder things, when you have to stock up. So a lot of different use cases like that. CRM integration, LPR cameras, license plate reading cameras can check in guests. We work with one customer that is a tire store, and they have their license plate reading cameras facing the cars as they come in. So that way, as the cameras read it, it actually pulls up the customer information on their CRM. So they know exactly how to address the person immediately as they're entering their facility.
Hey,
Simply.
Josh, let me ask you a question real quick, kind of going back to your last slide. Does somebody need to rip out their current camera system in order to use PhySaaS and Verkada? I mean, maybe you can talk about that CapEx versus the OpEx type of model fiscally, and maybe what the ROI is, if that's the case.
Yeah, absolutely. So Traditionally, Verkada is kind of a standalone product, very proprietary. Last year, they did open it up into allowing other cameras into the command platform, so that way we can overlay all the AI features onto it. They do have to be specific cameras, like they can't be coax, they have to be IP cameras, first off. But depending on what kind of camera, maker, model, we may or may not be able to work with it, or we'd have to rip and replace. And then as far as the ROI on it, I mean, really, there's so many business analytics and use cases that you can get into where you can understand where it kind of evolves into an automated ROI, or if that makes sense. Meaning, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. The same tire store I was just talking about is also using the cameras as uh, people counter, so they know exactly how many people are in their building at any given time. They also they're doing heat mapping, so they know where their customers are hanging out. Is it around the retail counter? Is it around the snack machine? Whatever it is. So they're doing a lot of stuff like that, so that way they can be innovative themselves and kind of drive either more revenue to where people are congregating or kind of manipulating it otherwise. But there's a lot of different things we can do with that. And I think you had one more question. I got two of the three.
Yeah, no, I think I think you answered it as it relates to the ROI. So really, you're getting some built-in features with that monthly recurring cost that you won't get if you just purchased cameras or used existing cameras.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it.
Searching simply. One of the cool features about the Verkada system is that you can search for pretty much anything you want. So if you know an incident occurred and all you have to do is say, type in, show me all women wearing red shirts. And what happens is that it automatically pulls up all the different people wearing the red shirts. You can also go as far as show me all women wearing Louis Vuitton purses. And it automatically pulls up all the women and it'll eliminate all the Gucci's, all the Coach purses. It only pulls up Louis Vuitton. So it's very, very specific in the search function. Facial recognition and license plate reading cameras. Um, you can have it all in. So if you think about, so one of the use cases we have is we actually have a restaurant group. It's seven different restaurants, high-end steakhouses. They have one GM and they had a problem with dine and dashers. So now what they do is anytime somebody doesn't pay their bill, they just circle that person's face. And if that person shows up in the future at any of their restaurants on any camera, they automatically get a text on the spot. So proactively, they know they have people in their building versus kind of the traditional model of just not really knowing until you encounter them. You can also put everybody into an environment. So if you think about like a school system, you can put all the students' faces into the system, and if that person, and if you somebody that does not load it in show up, you can automatically get an alert. So there's a lot of different ways we can play with that. Going back to the people or the business analytics, loitering, line crossing, motion detection, facial recognition, all that stuff is built in, and Verkada continues to innovate and add more and more features. For example, slip and fall. As of 6 months ago, if somebody slipped and fell, you would never know. Now with Verkada's system, if somebody slips and falls, you automatically get a text on the spot. So proactively, you can go first of all make sure that person's okay, but then B, you can make sure that's a legitimate fall and not fraudulent. One of the other cool things we can do is because it is all one system, we can also tie all the different elements together. So, for example, we can tie a door and a camera together and get a tailgating alert. So, if one person swipes their badge and four people enter, you get that text on the spot ahead of time. Um, So as far as just different use cases, relocation, customer, y'all move locations, y'all are always growing. Anytime you move locations, definitely keep us in mind. We work with your GCs out of the gate, so that way, early as possible, so that way we can make sure that the cabling is done correctly. We can make sure the right doors are ordered, so we can make sure those headaches aren't encountered later on. Budget constraints. Dan mentioned this, but and I mentioned it earlier on. But basically, what we do is we take all the hardware and the normal capital expenditures, and we amortize them over a course of a term. It just makes it easier for you to purchase. and save your cash flow, and not you don't have to put it all up front. Illegal dumping. We have several customers that use the license plate reading cameras to be able to ever get that ROI back, as Dan mentioned earlier. What they do is they have dumpsters that are getting illegally filled up by just people that pass by. We've talked to several apartment complexes where they get charged over $10,000 a month in additional fees. So what we did is put a license plate reading cameras up. Now, anytime there's an illegal dumper, they automatically have that information. They can take it to the police or the DMV and make sure action happens. Shrinkage. It's always a problem a lot of times internally inside of a company. We have a customer that is a high-end cabinetry company. They had a lot of people missing or they had a lot of different things that kept going missing and they didn't know where it was going. They found out I was an internal employee that was taking everything. They were able to stop that. More ROI. This is YMCA. YMCA had 26 locations. They had all these different applications. They had one door system here, a different camera system here. They literally had over 40 different applications that were running all their different doors and cameras. So we came in and gave them one simple stop solution. They can pull it all up on app or browser at any time.
Hey, Josh, real quick, kind of going back to that inventory shrinkage. I think I've seen this before, but you can actually draw a square or a certain part of maybe the inventory room. So tell me if that's correct or not. Whereas there may be other places, racks, it's fine, inventory moving in and out, but you're just focusing on one spot as opposed to just the entire screen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We can draw lines or do different line crossing techniques that make, or motion detection techniques that really you can get those alerts where if someone is in the wrong area or somebody's in an area they're not supposed to be, or it's a different time of day that it's supposed to be, we can set up all that custom per individual camera even. So everything in the Verkada realm is completely custom per camera, per door. So we can set certain alerts on certain things and not on others. We can for access control, who, what, where, and how much. We can provide. Some people go through certain doors only at certain times. Some use Bluetooth. Some not allowed at all. So we can completely manipulate the entire environment to make sure that it's very secure in the way anybody wants it. Let's see. Unmanaged cameras. If I had to guess, just based on conversations Nicole and I have across every day, I would imagine that probably 40% of all cameras out in the world don't work. They're more used as deterrents or they don't even realize they don't work. This was the case with this school that we worked with in Austin. They had Honeywell cameras. They didn't know that a lot of them didn't even work. They actually finally did call Honeywell to come out. They charged them a lot of money and they did absolutely nothing for them. The difference with using PhySaaS is that when camera one failed, we would have notified them at 15 minutes. We'd automatically started a truck roll process. We'd automatically RMA the equipment. And they don't have to call us. They don't have to pay anything. We do it all for them behind the scenes. So there's tons of value in that. Verkada has a 10-year hardware warranty associated, and with our free truck rolls, you can basically budget for the next 10 years out. So as nonprofits or schools or communities, it's very easy to be able to make sure that you're within that budget, knowing that you don't have extra fees coming later on for breaks or having to buy new equipment as well. Employee safety. This is probably a concern of most companies. It's a AC and plumbing company. They have a lot of overnight shifts 'cause the employees weren't feeling safe as they were walking out to their cars at night. So we implemented several different cameras uh, in dark areas on the parking lots. We also provided access control and door readers to make sure that people couldn't just walk in off the street late at night. Again, just making sure that the environment's secure. Oh, so with that said, yeah, so as a summary, basically what we do is we do Verkada as a service. We do give a full white glove solution from start to finish for every single customer. We do free site. Part of the process that we do that we make sure that is enabled is that we do free site surveys. So on all of our customer deployments, we have a technician that goes on site. They do a full walkabout, checking the different elements of security, like the cabling or the mags or the strikes. They bring that back, the full scope of work back to us. We actually have 6 engineers on staff. We custom design every single floor plan from start to finish based on what you're looking for. Whether it's alarms or cameras, sensors, everything will be built out on that floor plan and presented to you. And then we also project manage the installation as well. And then we use the same technician that goes on site for the site survey for that installation because they were already familiar with your location, as well as ongoing support. Um, Dan, should I get into the technology itself?
Yeah. Oh, I'm off. Yeah. I think that'd be great. And I think from Abilita's perspective, it's not necessarily a PhySaaS, although we do know you as the only company that does this. And maybe just take a quick second, what differentiates your company from others? Or is this where the industry is going in general, kind of getting away from the CCTVs and putting more intelligence and AI into it?
Yeah, so that's a great point. So with this is the Verkada system is like a hybrid cloud-based system, which means that there is no NVR, no DVR servers on site. That stuff needs to be upgraded every couple of years. It can run out of memory. If you have a break-in, people can steal your footage. So the way our cameras work is it basically holds at a minimum 30 days on it locally. Excuse me, day 31, day one falls off, and just repeat that process. With that, though, you have unlimited archives in the cloud. So if you have a fight one day, you save it, graffiti the next day, you save it, car wreck the next day, you save it. You can save as many things as you want indefinitely until you actually press the delete button. So you'll always have that footage available. With Verkada system, you can also you can actually show live footage while an incident is occurring. So I know I saw a police chief on here. If there was an actually incident happening while I was looking at my camera, I could actually forward it to 911 and let them view it as the incident is occurring like that. The Everything is PoE, it runs off of the internet. And they take very little bandwidth. Most cameras take a lot of bandwidth because it's constantly streaming. With our system, it's basically using very little. It's sending thumbnails to the cloud and you're unzipping it as you view it. So you don't have to have extra internet circuits or a dedicated circuit just for this. And then, as I mentioned, also all the AI alerts and everything's built in. So there is no take some features and leave other features. Everything comes standard. And as Verkada continues to innovate, all the newer stuff continues to get pushed out to the older cameras as well.
Yeah. Josh, if I can interrupt for a moment, one of our callers has a question, and specifically that is, can this be self-hosted?
Um, right now it's hosted. That's a good question, actually. Nicole, do you happen to know that answer? I do not.
I'm pretty sure it's proprietary to Verkada because they are within AWS where everything is being stored. Self-hosted, unfortunately, it's not self-hosted because it's not like a hosted phone system or a phone solution. It is, going straight to Verkada's platform.
But depending on if this is the way the question's going, you can take all your archive clips and move them out of your local environment. So you can send them to yourself via email. You can put them on a drive, whatever else in terms of that, and save them that way. So if that's kind of the way the question's going, that you can remove it from just your local environment and the cloud itself.
And I have a follow-up question too, Josh and Nicole. Mandy has asked, could you talk about your visitor management option as well?
Absolutely. So a lot of our customers come to us out of the gates just because they have a paper and pen type of visitor log. Something a lot of companies do if you think about going to doctor's offices or daycares. So what we can do is we can provide a guest management system. It's basically an iPad that we set up a custom entry form or a basic form that or customized form where you can gather the visitors' information as they come in. We can even make it so that way it runs through different APIs or databases to confirm that they're legit first. And then it spits out the white paper visitor badge. And so that way they have entrance around your facility. You know they've been checked in. So we can do a lot of that kind of. There's a lot of different things we can do with that as well. But what it also does is it gives you actual record keeping of who enters and exits your building electronically and not on a piece of paper.
Thanks, Josh.
And then I'll just going through a couple of other products, panic buttons. That's a big thing in schools. I'm in Texas. I know we have Alyssa's Law, which requires every single classroom to have a button that goes directly to 911. So we do, those are built into this as well. Air quality sensors. So I know we have a couple, I think there's a principal on here. We put an air quality sensor, a vape sensor in a high school bathroom. We put a camera on the outside of the bathroom, and as the vape sensor goes off, the vice principal automatically gets 3 minutes of footage texted to him of who went in and out of the bathrooms. Of course, we have intercom, which is like a Ring doorbell on steroids. It also acts as a card reader, guest entry, as well as the video and audio if someone's at your front door. Um, we already alarm monitoring. So just like an ADT or a Brinks, so somebody actually watching your cameras and alerting the authorities. That's also available on this platform. So all those different products are under the one environment, though. Cameras, doors, air quality sensors, panic buttons, guest management, intercoms.
And do any of them connect to door locks?
They all connect to door locks. So this entire system is all built around everything being integrated. So uh, door locks, mag strikes, we supply it all if needed, but it's all connected. And we also work with fire marshals or locksmiths as well, depending on what's needed to implement. I just saw
Yeah.
another question
Yeah,
pop
Josh,
up.
a follow-up. I don't know if you're seeing it there, but caller has said, can it be in AWS Gov Cloud? I'm not quite sure what the acronyms mean there, but you tell me.
Yes, so Verkada does have a separate government instance. So yes, it can actually be stored there as well.
Right.
So one other question, Josh, is I know it kind of got my attention that if a camera or a sensor picked up a loud sound, that can notify you as well. And I want to be sensitive to the fact that it can be a gunshot, although your attorneys have probably said don't say gunshots with that. But it sounds like that may be a situation where maybe, possibly, it's a gunshot, it's a loud decibel, hits a certain threshold, and then you're getting notified, in such situations like that. Is that a use case example?
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. So with the air quality sensors, it's measuring a lot of different things besides just air. Humidity, volatile compounds, temperature, but also noise level. So we can set the parameters on the specific number where if there's any kind of noise over that, you automatically get that alert. So whether it is a gunshot or whether it's just part of their business, we have some customers that set them up on their refrigeration units. They actually want it so if there's lack of decibels, if
Hmm.
the refrigeration, so then they get that alert, and that way they automatically know that there's something wrong. Or if a generator comes on and they're not, then it goes above that noise threshold, and they know their power's out. So we can manipulate in a lot of different ways to provide that kind of information to, again, it's business analytics and how to carry that business on.
That's great.
What other questions?
Yep.
Josh,
This
just out of
is
curiosity, what does an opportunity look like? Like, what would you need from someone, to quote out a new camera system or access control?
Really just a conversation. That's really, we just want to have an intro call, and that way we can understand what the problem is that you're trying to solve is. And then at that point, that we can kind of manipulate the conversation to what we need to do or how to help you. We have a really simple sales process. We do an intro call traditionally, and then we do a demo with our engineering team and provide budgetary pricing. If you like the technology from the demo and you like the pricing model, then that's when we roll the site survey out there so we can get real numbers on the cost for installation, and go from there.
And do you guys do your own cabling?
We do. We have technicians nationwide, so they are third party, but they have all been vetted by our engineering team, making sure licensed, insured. We use the same technicians over and over again across the country. So they actually supply everything needed from the cabling to the conduit to if the doors need mags and strikes, and we provide those also.
What happens if somebody moves forward with a project and the camera just isn't working? What do you guys do in that circumstance? Maybe it's not
Yeah,
getting
we're
the
not.
they want, or
Yeah, no, exactly. So we're going to notify the customer as soon at 15 minutes when that camera or door is not working. We automatically open a trouble ticket internally. We communicate with the end user, and basically we start the truck roll process and RMAing the equipment at the same time. So it doesn't cost the customer any money. It doesn't cost them any time. We're the ones that are doing it proactively behind the scenes.
and is there a large OpEx cost for this?
I mean, really, it's just the cameras, the license. We basically take the camera and the licensing and we amortize it across a 36 or a 60-month term and then add in a couple dollars for support. So you are paying, I guess, the interest charge for the support, or you can just look at it as instead of paying interest for nothing, you're at least getting support for everything behind the scenes, including those free truck rolls for the next 10 years.
Oh, all that's included?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, the monthly fee is the monthly fee. There's never any over the top or additional charges. If something breaks or malfunctions, the 10-year warranty covers the hardware. We cover all the service and support.
all right. Any other questions? Well, thank you, Josh, and thanks to everybody for your time. The whole point of these webinars is just to help everybody get a little bit smarter about these technology issues, the industry, the solutions for your organization, and hopefully this is helpful to you guys today. Our next webinar is going to be in June, and expect an email from us with your invitation as we get closer. So thanks for your time, everybody, and thank you, Josh.
Thanks, guys.